Hey Aya, today's topic is abortion. There will be a few more topics, I'll sum them up real quick: rape, mental health, suicide, religion. If you don't want to hear about these topics right now, I understand. Put your mental health first. Let's get right into it, shall we? At 6 weeks of pregnancy, an ultrasound can detect a little flutter in the area that will become the future heart of the baby. This flutter happens because the group of cells that will become the future pacemaker. But the heart is far from fully formed at this stage, and the beat isn't audible. With the argument the fetus has a heartbeat and is a human being covered, let's move on to what dangers the women could be in. I saw a few times men calling women vessels and such. Personally, this is disgusting that you call a human being a vessel. Yes, we need to reproduce, but we are pretty close to an overpopulation. This will bring the following problems: unemployment, food and recourse problems, and a lot more. Currently, the human population is around 8 billion. Why do I mention this? That's a lot of people. So why force women to carry a baby that they don't want? Or why ban same-sex marriage? I mean, these couples are most likely to adopt kids. Now that the topic adoption is mentioned, let's talk about the argument against abortion. We'll adopt your baby. To start this off with, a woman has to go through 9 months of carrying something that they won't raise, and go through pain of birthing it only to give it to you afterwards. This is the for if someone wants to adopt the baby. Since this is going on in the USA, let's look at the numbers from there only. Of the more than 440,000 children in foster care in the United States, there are over 123,000 kids available for adoption. More than 23,000 children will age out of the U.S. foster care system every year. Thought I might share these numbers as well. After reaching the age of 18, 20% of the children who were in foster care will become instantly homeless. 50% of former foster youth who age out of the system will be unemployed by the age of 24. There is less than a 3% chance for children who have aged out of foster care to earn a college degree at any point in their life. 70% of girls who age out of the foster care system will become pregnant before the age of 21. At least 25% of children who age out of the foster care system still suffer from the direct effects of PTSD. 60% of young men who age out of the foster care system and are legally emancipated have been convicted of a crime. About 1 in 4 kids who age out of the system will not graduate from high school. Only 5% of women and 33% of men receive government benefits to meet basic needs after they age out of the system. 50% of kids who age out of the system will develop substance dependence. Children with a diagnosed disability of any kind, including a learning disability, are twice as likely to age out of the foster care system. Kids who enter the foster care system after the age of 12 have a 40% chance of being legally emancipated at the age of 18 from the system. Now, before people are going to comment that same-sex couples could adopt these babies as well, I feel like there are already a lot of children waiting for a family. Oh right, I forgot I was going to talk about the dangers for the women. Like it's not happening enough these days. Restricting women's access to safe and legal abortion services has important negative health implications. We've seen that these laws do not result in fewer abortions. Instead, they compel women to risk their lives and health by seeking out unsafe abortion care. 3,000 women die from unsafe abortions each year and tens of thousands more experience significant health complications globally. A recent study estimated that banning abortion in the U.S. would lead to a 21% increase in the number of pregnancy-related deaths. Overall, the legal status of abortion also defines whether girls will be able to complete their educations, and whether women will be able to participate in the workforce, and in public and political life. Personally, I think that abortion should be available for women of all ages. Yes, adult can think this trough. If a woman doesn't want a child, it should be up to her. Even if she didn't go through a traumatic experience first. I 100% agree with that. But I think it's also very important to know that young girls are being raped and would be forced to carry the child of their rapist. Not just young women but also older women. Now that this topic is mentioned as well, let's look at some disgusting facts about rape. Let's just stay in the USA. Whatever the reason for a victim's silence, the effect is that rape goes grossly underreported in many countries. It is estimated that approximately 35% of women worldwide have experienced sexual harassment in their lifetime. However, in most countries with data available on rape, including the US, fewer than 40% of those women seek help and fewer than 10% seek assistance from law enforcement. As a result, most rapists escape punishment. In the US, for instance, it is estimated that only 9% of rapists are prosecuted, and only 3% spend time in prison. 97% of rapists walk free. 94% of women who are raped experience symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, during the 2 weeks following the rape. 30% of those PTSD cases last at least 9 months. 33% of women who are raped contemplate suicide. A high percentage of rape victims experience ongoing professional and/or emotional issues as a result of the attack. While the majority of sexual assault victims are female, 82% of juveniles and 90% of adults, males around the world also experience sexual harassment, sexual assault, and/or rape every day. Transgender people and those with disabilities are twice as likely to be victims of sexual assault or rape. In the United States, 70% of rapes are committed by someone the victim knows. Like I said, the majority of victims are female. Men are victims as well. However, if a man reports this, it's less likely they are being taken serious. In England and Wales, an estimate of 9,000 males were victims of rape. In 2011, approximately 12,000 men are raped every year so far. People's argument it's the clothes they were wearing. Since we are talking about clothes. In history, let's say the Middle Ages, if you can remember, women wore long dresses. Punishments for rape were comparatively mild, and in many instances women, unable to press their accusations, were arrested on charges of false appeal. As a prelude to marriage, impacting a woman's honor more than her rights as a person. Especially if forced sex was not accompanied by violence. Even now in modern times, mostly in Arabic countries, rapists are often shown leniency or even acquitted in the Arab region if they married their victims. In Morocco, Article 475 of the Penal Code, which allowed rapists to avoid prosecution if they marry their victims, was repealed in 2014 following the suicide of a rape victim who was forced to marry her rapist. Before people are going to comment about this, here is some information. A pastor was arrested for sexually abusing a 16-year-old family member. What makes this heartbreaking story even more repugnant is that church and family members had been informed about the abuse 2 years earlier, but failed to report the crime to the police. Instead, they decided that the best response was to simply pray for the offender and hope for the best. 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious. I do want to say that there are people, from different religions, who are against these harassments. I've met several people from different backgrounds who absolutely hate these kinds of acts. So I'm not trying to offend entire communities by sharing this kind of info. I don't think you should accuse entire groups for the crimes a few commit. Now, why did I decided to talk about rape as well? First, it's one of the biggest reasons why women want to get an abortion. Second, I wanted to talk about it in a video, but then I thought it's better to combine it with a subject that's kind of related with it. Even though it's not a topic that makes you happy, it is important to learn about it. If you like it or not, not everyone wants to be a parent. And honestly, what someone wants to do with their body shouldn't be a topic of debate. Definitely not if you have nothing to do with this person. Since, if you believe it or not, religion plays a big part in discussions like abortions or rape. Even if a lot of people of the community believes it's wrong. And you might hear me say this again when I upload videos with topic religion, but I'm going to say it in this video as well. It doesn't mean that because you believe something is a sin, that everyone should just do what you believe. What someone believes is their own choice, not yours. This was a less happy video since for a lot of people, it is their reality. I do hope that you learned more. Hopefully I see you in a